What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I've had a couple of requests to do a video on my Subaru that you guys still see it in the intro. I haven't pulled it from the intro because it was very much a big part of the channel. When we started the channel, that was the primary vehicle. Now, there was a couple things behind closed doors that you guys didn't know about the Subaru, and I was dealing with a lot of issues on and off with the car that kind of like, it almost made me give up. It really did. It made me just kind of not care about the build anymore, just because every time I would fix the problem, something else would happen. And then I'd have the same problem I had before. So it was very frustrating. But in the meantime, enjoy the freaking intro, guys, and then we will take a ride down memory lane. Yeah, look at that LB7 smoke, baby. Because it's freaking America Day, that's why. Again, another video of the Subi. Today, we're going to be replacing the spark plugs. See how this goes. I totaled the front of the Subi today. The bumper fell so I can get the pin. Because you have to. Yes, you can. You just have to have that bumper that's on there. The other thing's just a cover.
Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And
So while we are inside my little office, man cave, recording studio, I want to talk about the Subaru and why it was beneficial for me to get rid of it. So looking back, do I miss the Subaru? Yes, I do miss the Subaru. I know you guys miss the Subaru. I have tons of people hitting me up saying that I never should have got rid of the Subaru, that they missed the Subaru. So, like I said earlier, the car constantly dealt with the bogging issue. So, I changed the spark plugs. And it was only under boost, which was really weird. I had a boost cut, but there was no vacuum leaks, nothing like that. Changed the spark plugs. Yes, everything was gapped properly. It would stop bogging for 2 weeks. Then it would start again. So at first I cleaned the MAF. I was like, okay, clean the MAF. Everything was good for another 2 weeks. Then it came back. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to replace the MAF. I'm just going to replace the MAF sensor, go from there, see what things are like. I replaced it. It was good for a month and a half. It came back. So I'm like, okay, maybe something's just wrong. Maybe I got a faulty MAF, whatever. It seemed like it lasted a lot longer than it ever did. So it's possible that my previous MAF, the first one, was just shot. So when I cleaned it, it helped a little bit. Then I replaced it, and it lasted a month and a half, and then I bought another one. I bought another MAF sensor. I changed that. Okay. Everything was back to good, and then literally within the next 3 weeks, same freaking issues. So I was getting super, super frustrated with the car at the time because I couldn't pinpoint where my bogging issue was coming from. I ended up taking off the top mount intercooler, checking everything up there, making sure everything was clear. It was fine and dandy. And for the life of me, I could not figure out what was going on with the car. The second thing was honestly some of the cosmetic flaws that I knew about the car. So really, really crappy scenario. I'm driving to work at 4:45 in the morning. It's pitch black outside. My headlights are on. Everything is good. There's 60, 65 mile per hour winds going on. Some asshole let his trash can sitting outside in the front of his yard. The wind took it, threw it. Literally perfect timing right out in front of my car. And I ended up waylaying the piss out of it. And of course, it wasn't just a plastic trash can. It ended up being one of the old style metal cans. So as frustrating as that was, I was like, okay, well, a lot of people end up doing the black in the front with plasti dip. So I was like, okay, I'll roll with that for the time being. So I did that. I ran the Subaru with the black on the front. I'll throw a clip in here in a second. And I was okay with it. I liked the way it looked. But I could still see a little bit more of the paint flaking that was coming off. And as I kind of looked deep down into it, I'm like, there's no primer on this bumper, which tells me that it was in a front end accident before. I didn't really notice it ahead of time. If you look at both fenders, now I'm not sure if I even have a clip of this on my channel somewhere. If you look at both fenders, one inside of the fender is darker than the other. And I never noticed that before. I never noticed that, which told me that there was a previous accident before. And I noticed, I believe it was the passenger side headlight didn't fit properly. So that, as I was getting more in depth with the Subaru, I was like, okay, I honestly feel like this car was in an accident at some point, had a clear history. So whatever happened, they ended up just replacing them themselves. But they probably bought a Duraflex bumper and just had it freaking painted, hence why it just started flaking. So as I was driving down the highway from there on out, paint was just chipping and flying off the bumper. And there was a point in time where the bumper just looked that much like ass. I drove around without a freaking bumper, which I will also throw in a clip of that here in a second too. So I was like, okay, I don't want to take this bumper to a shop, have it professionally painted, so I ended up buying the World Rally Blue spray paint that they have. And I will be completely honest with you guys, it turned out pretty damn good. Like, looking at it, if you were up close, you can notice some of my sanding imperfections and stuff like that. But for the most part, damn thing turned out pretty good for me doing it in my backyard. So we get it back out on the road. Everything's going good. And I'm like, man, this car is going to be the death of me. And honestly, we went to H2OI in 2017. And I was so excited to take my Subaru down there. I ended up taking my Volkswagen. I ended up taking the GTI down because, as shitty as this sounds, I felt that the 4-hour trip was more reliable in my slammed Mark IV GTI than in my pretty much stock Subaru. The clutch was slipping, and there was a lot of stuff that just kind of, every time I wanted to do something to it, something happened. And the envisionment that I had in my head for the car was, oh man, if I would actually went through with everything. And I was at a different point in time in my life too. Like, we were getting ready to have our first kid. I wasn't making the money that I'm making now. And, you know, we were living at my grandfather's house, and, you know, we were kind of struggling, to be honest with you guys. And you guys wouldn't see that through YouTube, and a lot has changed over the past 2 years, not because of YouTube, but because of my work and kind of my motivation and the strive that I have for work. And my money has changed drastically over that less than 2-year span to where it made sense. It made a lot of sense for me to get rid of the Subaru, because at the time that I got rid of the Subaru, I think I had like 1,400 subscribers. That was like over a 1.5 year span of doing YouTube. When I decided to make the change and go away from having the Duramax and the Subi to having the Duramax and the Jeep, I've since gained 1,700 subscribers in a year and a day. We bought the Jeep a year and a day ago, which means the Subaru has been gone for a year and a day. The transition in my channel with buying the Jeep, I think it was the best decision that I could have done. Now, am I saying that I will never have a Subaru again? No, that's not the case. If I were to do it all over again, I love the blob eyes. Don't get me wrong, blob eye is my favorite. I would not buy a WRX again. And if I did, it would be a 2011 and up. The 04 had the 2.0 liter and the 5-speed transmission, which was glass. It was shit. I should have bought a blob eye STI. Another thing that freaking drove me absolutely bonkers with the Subi, and this is something I've never seen happen before, but it is my luck. The wiper, all right, went past the windshield during the middle of a freaking snowstorm. Passed. Like just didn't like hit the freaking A-pillar. No, it went over the freaking A-pillar and was smacking my driver's side window. I have video of the aftermath of it. I've never freaking heard of that before, and ended up taking the paint off all the way down to bare freaking metal.
This is what I've been dealing with the whole freaking way up here.
We have a guest. We have a little naked baby. Hi!
Hi.
Can you wave to everybody? Can you wave? No? Okay. That sounds good. So, basically, I still rep Subaru on a daily basis. I don't know if you guys realize it or not. My sunglasses that I wear are Subaru sunglasses. I love Subaru. Do I see myself in one down the road? Absolutely. Just right now is not the time to do it. I need to figure out my truck situation before I do anything like that. I miss the sound of the Subi. I miss driving the Subi in the snow. But I don't know. Like, It was the right decision for me. It was the right decision with having a little baby, and obviously we have another one on the way. It was the best decision for myself personally, for not only my channel, but also for my family. So if this was your first time watching a video on my channel, guys, I hope you give this video a big thumbs up. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Join us on our journey to 5,000 subscribers. Hit the notification bell. Tell your friends. We will own a Subaru on the channel. Again, someday there is a Subaru sign right here and right there. We're going to freaking do it. Just give us some time. Trust me. It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen. Yes, I know. You used to drive in the Subaru all the time. After you were born, we had a Recaro baby seat. Yes, we had a Recaro baby seat in the back of the Subi. Yeah, it's crazy. And now you're just a motor mouth. Yep. Now you bog less than the Subaru did. I'll see you guys in the next one.